The alarm goes off at 6 a.m. Last night, you had a clear plan, an ambition that felt real and powerful. But now, in the dim light of your room, that plan feels like it belongs to someone else. You know that internal conversation? Well, the one that happens in the seconds you have to decide between the warmth of the sheets and the cold of the floor. One part of you wants to follow through, but another part, with a much more persuasive voice, tells you that you deserve to rest. And most of the time, that second voice wins. Not because you're weak, but because its argument is simpler. Comfort, right here and now. And as you give in, you feel a mix of relief and an almost imperceptible sense of defeat. That feeling is the real topic for today. It isn't laziness. It isn't a lack of goals. It's that crack that opens up between the person you want to be and the decisions you make day after day. We've been sold the idea that to act, we need to feel a wave of motivation. We search for that emotion as if it were permission to begin. But feelings are visitors, not residents. They come and go without notice. And to base your most important actions on something so unstable is like trying to build a house on water. Today, you feel you can conquer the world. Tomorrow, getting out of bed feels like a feat. Consistency has nothing to do with maintaining a heightened mood. It has to do with the ability to separate your actions from your emotions. It's the skill of acting on a decision you've already made, not the mood you're in now. So why is it so hard? Because your brain loves patterns. It is designed for efficiency, and efficiency means following the paths it already knows, the routines that require no mental effort. A new habit, a new routine, is like asking a river to change its course. The water will always want to flow down the path that has been carved out over years. The resistance you feel is the force of that old river. It's not a fight between good and evil. It's a simple matter of energy. The new path consumes glucose and attention. The old path is nearly free, and your brain is, above all, a conservationist. So the solution cannot be a brute force battle every morning. Using willpower is like using your phone's battery for a power-draining task. It runs out, and when it runs out, you go back to power-saving mode, your old habits. The real solution is more subtle and much smarter. It's about making the start of the new path so ridiculously easy that your brain doesn't even register it as a significant energy expense. Forget about the final goal for a moment. The goal of running 10 kilometers or of learning a new language is what scares your brain. It's too big, too far away. Our only objective is to cross the starting line. You must define a starting line for every habit you want to build. An action so minimal, so concrete, it seems almost absurd. An action that is easier to do than to argue with. For example, if you want to run in the morning, your goal isn't to run. Your starting line is putting on your running shoes and opening the front door. That's it. You've won. If you want to learn to play the guitar, your starting line isn't to practice for an hour. It is to simply take the guitar out of its case and hold it. That's it. The victory is yours. If you want to start meditating, your starting line isn't to clear your mind. It's to sit in your designated spot and set a timer for 1 minute. Just that. Do you see what this does? It completely changes the internal negotiation. The conversation in your head is no longer, do I have the energy to run for an hour? Now it is, do I have the energy to put on my shoes? And the answer to that is always yes. This simple act of crossing an easy starting line has a domino effect. It puts your body in motion, and a body in motion is far more likely to stay in motion than a body at rest is to start moving. You are lowering the barrier to entry to zero. You are eliminating the initial resistance. And once the resistance is gone, the action flows much more naturally. But the deepest change isn't physical. It's psychological. It has to do with trust. Specifically, the trust you have in yourself. Self-trust isn't a feeling. It's a reputation. It's the reputation you've earned with yourself over time. Are you someone who does what they say they'll do? Or someone who negotiates their promises until they disappear? Every time you cross your starting line, you are keeping a small promise. You are depositing a coin in the bank of your self-trust. You are building a track record of reliability. You might not run that day. You might only play one chord. It doesn't matter. You completed the first step. You kept your word on the most fundamental level, and your brain registers it. You start to see yourself differently. You stop being the person who always wants to, but never does. You become the person who always starts. And that shift in identity is everything. Because your actions align with your identity. If you see yourself as an athlete, going to the gym isn't a struggle. It's simply what you do. You are acting according to who you are. This method allows you to build that identity from the ground up, with small, undeniable wins. Every day you prove to yourself, with evidence, that you are the type of person who shows up. The goal of consistency isn't perfection. It's simply not breaking the chain. And the chain is held together by its simplest link, crossing the starting line every day. Over time, the internal negotiation gets shorter. The voice that begs you to stay in bed loses its power because it knows from experience that you'll put on your shoes in the end. It knows it's a losing battle. And what once required conscious effort starts to feel automatic. The new trail in the forest has become so clear and well-trodden that it becomes your brain's preferred path. This is true discipline. It isn't forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's having done something so many times in such a smart way that it has become a part of you. Discipline is the automation of your best intentions, and it starts with a first step you cannot refuse. You become free. You stop depending on whether you feel inspired, motivated, or energetic. Those feelings become a bonus, an extra, but they are no longer the requirement to act. Your ability to make progress in your life is no longer at the mercy of your internal chemistry. Your progress now answers to a conscious decision and a well-designed system. That is one of the highest forms of personal freedom. Knowing that, regardless of the storm inside your mind or the tiredness in your body, you have a tool to get started. This approach works for everything. For that project you postpone, for those finances you're intimidated to review, for the clutter in your house that overwhelms you, those intimidating finances. The starting line is opening your banking app. Nothing more. The project, it's opening the corresponding file. The clutter, it's picking up one single thing and putting it in its place. Reduce the task to its first possible physical gesture. Make that your starting line, and commit only to that. The power of consistency doesn't lie in the intensity of your actions. It lies in their inevitability, in the certainty that every day the chain will not break. Think about the cumulative effect. A 1% improvement each day doesn't seem like much, but over the course of a year, that constant improvement transforms you completely. The first beat is your daily 1%. The person you are a year from now will be the sum of the actions you repeat starting today. Not the sum of your good intentions or your grand plans, but of your small, consistent gestures. So I invite you to pause after this video and to define with absolute clarity one single thing you want to do consistently. Don't choose 5, choose 1. The most important one for you right now. Now, define its starting line. Be honest with yourself. Make it so simple, it feels almost ridiculous. Now, treat that decision like a sacred contract with yourself. Give it a place of honor in your day. Write it on the first page of your journal, or set it as a subtle alarm that reminds you of your silent pact. It is not a reminder of a heavy task. It is the sign that the simplest victory is already within your reach. And tomorrow, when you wake up, don't think about the mountain. Don't think about the outcome. Simply and calmly cross your starting line and allow yourself to feel that small pulse of integrity, the recognition that you followed through, that once again you've built a little more trust with the most important person in your life, you. Because consistency isn't about being perfect, it's about being faithful. Faithful to the decision you made. Faithful to the first step. The great achievements you admire in others are not the product of luck or superhuman motivation. They are the visible result of thousands of invisible beginnings that no one saw. You have the capacity to do the same. You don't need to feel a special way. You just need your starting line and the decision to cross it right now.